So let me just start by saying that basically, this is absolute carnage. I don't know what's going on, but welcome nonetheless. We were all good. We sat there for 20 minutes. Nathan just keeps disappearing. James keeps disappearing and freezing. So right now, it's me and Henry.
It's just us. It's just us.
Yeah. It's like the good old days.
Oh, we're back at it again, man. The dream team.
Absolutely. Is Nathan back? Is he in? Let's see how long he stays.
Hello? Am I going to stay? Going on?
Max, if you're watching, well, there you go. He's gone already. Max, feel free to jump back in, even if you fall asleep. We just need somebody on camera. What a palaver. Never mind. I think James should be joining us soon. But never mind. Let's give him one more go. Let's see if it works. Is it working?
I think so. You probably got me for about 30 seconds. So happy being. I've been good. I'm ready for celebration. I thought the film was great for Film Club.
He's gone.
Right, lads, let me just fix all the issues here. I've arrived. Everyone relax.
It's carnage. Feel free to just fall asleep, mate. Like I know you've had a nice, lovely weekend away in the dam. We all know what goes on in the dam. You had an early flight back. One of them. But yeah, what an absolute carnage.
I'll stay for as long as I can. And then once the other guys have got their shit together, I will dip again.
Well, it looks like we might have James back, but we'll see if he was having camera issues. So, James, can you hear us?
I don't trust anything, but yes, I can hear.
No. Oh, he's froze.
Oh, I think we're gonna lose him. We've lost him.
Whenever Netflix puts somewhere has a film in Mexico, you just make the whole thing yellow. That's what James's camera is.
Oh, hey, never mind. Let's Nathan didn't even get in the stream that time, but let's make a start, because I think we just need to progress. Otherwise, we're going to spend 45 minutes just dealing with issues. Oh yeah, never mind. Right, Nathan, last try.
Hello.
Right, you're on your final warning. Let's see if it works.
No. No, he's gone. That's it. Bye, Nathan.
I can see James sat down there, but I didn't know if he was just not admitting himself back in or what. James, can you hear us? Do you know you're on screen?
This is why I've not come back in.
James, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Gone. 1, 2, 3, gone is what it is. Never mind. Anyway, Henry, welcome to Nerd Juice, mate. Welcome to Nerd Juice. We're not usually this chaotic.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Finally.
Ironically, we invited you because we like to have 4 hosts on every week. And we were a couple of men down, so we invited you along. Lo and behold, we needed you anyway, and we're still short. But, never mind. Yeah, how's things, Henry? What you been like? How's life in general, other than manic?
We're doing good. It's busy, really busy at the minute, but I'm loving it. I'd rather be busy than quiet and not doing anything. It's been a cool week, up and down to London quite a bit. But I've got a couple of days at home now, so I can chill out, play a bit of Overwatch, and paint my Warhammer finally. So that's what I'll be doing the next couple of days.
You're new to Warhammer, aren't you? Is that right?
Relatively. I mean,
Yeah.
I did quite a bit as a kid. When I was very young, I started a Warhammer club at school, and then I got back into it last year when 9th edition came out. Or was that 2 years ago? I don't know. When 9th edition came out of Warhammer, I got back into it, and I've got a proper ultramarine army going on at the minute. So I'm quite pleased with it. It looks pretty good. I might even share some of it. Yeah.
I would say it's on brand for you. And
oh, very. I need a brand deal with Games Workshop. Lego and Games Workshop are the two at the top of my list at the minute. Those are the people I want to work with.
Aim high.
Yeah,
That's,
absolutely. Reach for the stars. In the words of S7.
Henry, are you in full time, like, I guess, content creation, ambassadorships, and like things like that, or are you still, I say, doing a proper job, like doing a 9 to 5 somewhere still? Or are you full time?
No, I'm proud to say I am a full-time content creator now.
Lovely.
I stopped work at I don't know a while ago, and then I went to drama school in September, and then I swiftly dropped out because it was just awful. And I was thinking, why am I paying these people $9,000 a year to teach me something that I've been doing for 2 years straight on my own? And also, I could be earning a hell of a lot more money just doing content creation and be a lot happier. So why the hell am I staying here? So I dropped out of uni in like November, and then I've just been doing content since. I got a new management company. Yeah, just been doing that, I guess.
Nice.
Hey, James.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, looking back, I reckon if I did everything all over again, I probably wouldn't go to uni. Like the line of work I'm in now, probably I could have got into without it. Like, obviously, hindsight's a beautiful thing, but like my career and life going forward has nothing to do with my degree, and therefore I'm now 50 grand in debt with nothing really to show for it. So if you ever need reassurance that being off uni and not accumulating 40 grand of debt, then I will back you up.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing I was saying to Liam beforehand. My old schools asked me to go back and do like an inspirational guest speaker thing, and all I'm going to tell them is to sack off uni and education and just go and like I get experience in the world. And I'm like, I don't know whether you want me to give the kids this message. So we'll see how that goes.
This is TikTok.
Yeah, so yeah. Beware, there are some mean people on here, but just go on there and talk about movies and dance to Phil Collins, and you'll be fine. You'll get by.
Yeah, put that in the business card. That's all you need.
Oh, 100%.
Max, not to catch you off guard a little bit, but how was Amsterdam? How's your week been?
Yeah, it was lovely. We so for those that don't know, Amy, my girlfriend, is Dutch, and therefore we're in the early stages of potentially moving to Amsterdam in the next year or so. And I've never been, so I was like, I should probably go and visit a city before I kind of uproot my whole life and move there. So it was more of a recon holiday than a relaxing holiday. So lots of walking, lots of pancakes, lots of beer. But no, it was good. We made the mistake of getting a 7 a.m. flight this morning. And that means getting up at 3 to get to the airport, and it was just awful.
Yeah,
that sounds awful, horrific.
Best question: any ventures into the red light district? I'm going to completely embarrass myself here, and I like to think that I can be composed in front of a woman. However, I have never seen someone lose as much composure as I did walking through the red light district. First of all, I decided I'd go and get dessert. So I was wondering, like, all these men were like up and down the red light.
Is that euphemism, Max?
Yeah, that is my fat ass getting dessert. As they're all like doing their thing, and I'm just there with my like stroopwafel Snicker like monstrosity, just like walking, just like spooning waffle into my mouth as I'm like kind of like peering into these windows. Suddenly, just like making eye contact, and I'm like, don't mind me just eating my waffle. Meanwhile, Amy's just like laughing, stood next to me, just kind of embarrassed on my behalf. No, fascinating place, and I recommend Amsterdam as a whole to anyone that's not been. So,
100% agree. I've been twice, and yeah, it's surreal. Like, you think, I remember going the first time I went, and like I thought, I was there with my like ex at the time, well, my girlfriend at the time, but she's now my ex, and you're thinking, oh, I'm pretty safe. Like I'm here with my girlfriends, like they're not going to pester you. And then they're like, nah, do you want a threesome? And you're like, do you? It's just, and so the first time I went as well, it was like a Wednesday, like a really weird. It was that like where you jump on the boat, you go overnight, you're there through the day, then you get on the boat and come home on the night. It's like a special from like the East Coast ports. And so we were there like Wednesday at lunchtime, and there were just like Dutch businessmen, which could soon be you, Max, just like running around, like, clearly on the lunch hour, like looking for their favorite girl. It was just so surreal. But I absolutely love it. Went back about 5 years ago, with my wife before she was my wife, and then just like spend the weekend there. And that, like, when you go for the day, that's just such a, like, you're instantly drawn to it because it's what you know. But then when you go for a weekend, there's so much more to see, and you realize how such a small part of Amsterdam that is. But yeah, love it.
It's a crazy small city too. Like we were walking from like one end to the other in like an hour. It's mad.
Yeah, indeed. Anybody, do you know, it's been a hell of a week. I don't know about you guys, for like TV and films. Like I've wrote down everything I've watched this week. Have you guys watched anything particular over the last week?
I've gotten really into Letterboxd the past couple of weeks. I haven't been to the cinema to see anything new, but Letterboxd is forcing me to watch new movies because adding a diary entry on Letterboxd is pretty awesome. Hey James, he's back. Oh,
he's not.
Hi James.
So Henry, I've seen a lot of like film talk about Letterboxd.
Yeah.
What is it?
Are you on Letterboxd, Max?
No,
I know what it is, but I've got only a number of hours in the day, and I'm still trying to figure out being content creation, let alone writing my own personal reviews to movies.
Well, this is the thing. It's like I call it movie social media. So I only follow like 10 people on here, and it is basically just film talk. And you just like, I want to know how many films I've watched at the end of the year. Like, I just think that would be cool to know. So I can tell you that I have watched 23 films this year, and you can log them on your diary and give them little star ratings. Haven't given Shazam one yet because the embargo is not lifted. I don't know how much I can say about Shazam.
That was a flex, by the way. That was just yeah.
Oh yeah, just sort of like I saw Shazam on the first. Yeah. Anyway,
if you can't tell, he's clearly gone to the bathroom to. Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
give up, Nathan.
But yeah, it's a way. Letterboxd is a way to like log the films that you've watched, give them an odd star rating. For movie talk people, I think it's very useful because all they do is review movies. Yeah, I quite enjoy it, just giving fun little reviews every now and again. But it forces me to watch newer stuff so that I can log it. I don't know. It's like something's in my head where I'm like, I need to watch something new. I can't say I've already watched this film. I want to be cool and expand my horizons. So this week I watched Edge of 17 with Haley Steinfeld, phenomenal coming of age movie. Beverly Hills Cop 1, peak of Eddie Murphy 80s humor. Trading Places and Beverly Hills Cop, I think, are tied for my two favorite Eddie Murphy films. The Fox and the Hound from Disney, which is a good one, and The Great Mouse Detective, which is, I think, my favorite Bronze Age Disney film. I think The Great Mouse Detective is criminally underrated.
That's a seriously broad range of films to watch in a week.
Oh yeah. And I also watched the Muppet movie last night, and I chuckled my little head off.
I feel like
very much enjoyed it.
Like at least once a week, though, Henry.
Oh, it depends what mood I'm in. I was in the original 79 Muppet movie phase this week. Last week, I watched the 2011 one, and I cried because I was in... The Muppets make me... My first video that got over 1 million views was me crying over the bleeding Muppets. Like, it's part of my nature now, is to just weep over these felt creatures. So yeah, that's what I watched this year.
Funny you should mention the Muppet movie, because it is the way we're going to do Film Club, because anybody who watches regularly, this is episode 7, we usually get to the end of the stream and then realise we don't have any suggestions. So the way that we're going to do it now for Film Club is we, as the hosts that week, will come with a suggestion, and we'll put a poll on, so I can see a lot of you have already started to vote, and you guys pick from our suggestions what we're watching. Henry, of course, has slid in with the Muppet movie. Max, obviously you weren't meant to be here, so you haven't got one, but I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was specifically for you.
I thought
you can't talk about it, because we all know how you feel about it, but you can't talk about it because potentially that's next week. But you've got Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won the Oscar last night, the Muppet movie, Shaun of the Dead, and Fast and Furious, because it's not an episode of Nerd Juice if we don't talk about Fast and Furious. Max, have you watched anything particular over the last week?
No, because obviously I've been on holiday, but I did watch. I'm up to date with Mando. I'm currently in my in between TV shows that I'm watching, because I just finished rewatching Vikings, and just going back to Henry's stuff on Letterboxd, making him watch new stuff. My problem is I will scour through all the streaming platforms, go, I'll look at that, and then I end up just rewatching something I've already watched, because I know it's easy, it's simple, I can do it while I work, I can do it while I'm on bricklaying, things like that. And I'm trying to make a point of watching series that I haven't seen before, instead of just rewatching the same 15 shows over and over again. So that's the plan going forward.
Yeah, I feel that. It's,
what about you? Anything special?
I've watched loads. I feel like it's been there's been a lot going on. So I watched the Luther movie on Netflix. Yeah,
it's a Luther film.
They've got the rights now, haven't they? So there was a 2-hour film on that. I'll not talk about it because it's fresh out, so give people a chance to watch it. I watched the second half of the season of You, which is another person you have a slight resemblance to, but not fully, not as much as Pedro. Again, I won't talk about it because it's too soon. Maybe one for next week. Literally just tonight, watched the last episode of The Last of Us. Again, won't talk about it. And then Bad Batch of Mando as well, which is for me the bangest up to date. Beth said, love the Vikings. Beth, are you talking about the Vikings Valhalla series on Netflix? Because I'm kind of watching it, but I'm struggling with this one. I really loved the original series of Vikings, especially when it was Ragnar, and then kind of when it moved on to his sons. I felt like it dragged on a little bit too bit, and then it just seems like there's loads of Viking stuff on, the Northmen, and there's stuff left, right, and center. But Mrs. Obi-Wan kind of loves Vikings too, and I don't think it's about the plot. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, I agree with the Vikings. I watched the one with Ragnar on Prime, the one that then goes on to all his sons and stuff, and I found that after Ragnar went, it just became a little bit every episode was the same, and just became a little bit tedious. And so I got to the stage where I was just waiting for it to be over, and I was that's really interesting.
I know there is source material for Ragnar Lothbrok, and then there is the Sons of Ragnar, but the Sons of Ragnar is a bit more diluted. So I think they've really built that out, whereas I think the source material for Ragnar was more informative, so they were able to really stick that. But yeah, Mike, 100%. I would have shaved my beard off a long time ago, even just to get rid of it and then regrow it back. But I am threatened with divorce if that ever happens. So literally, even though I didn't have a beard when we first got together. So yeah.
Has anybody seen you without a beard? Because now I'm really intrigued to see what's under there.
There's chicken wings. Yeah. I mean, I could share a picture, but I'm not going to
Yes.
share it now.
Yes.
But yeah, I can.
Yes,
I can
yeah,
share
yeah,
a
yeah.
picture. Yeah, all right. That's
To
a
be fair,
really
my
good
beard is not nearly as drastic as Liam's, but the reason I have mine is because I look like a 13-year-old boy if I don't. And so it is a mainstay on my face for the foreseeable future.
My experience with facial hair was when I did Beauty and the Geek. They asked me to grow out my. This is a bit of behind the scenes stuff for reality TV. They asked me to grow out my hair and grow a beard, and I said no, and I can't. So they got rid of that idea instantly. But to like test how long I could grow anything, it was like when I first started going to events, I would shave before each event, and there was like 2 weeks where I didn't have anything, and I was like, oh, I'm going to let this grow. It was the most disgusting 13-year-old little. It was awful. I hated it. So I'm never ever getting a beard in my life ever.
I did love on that very first episode of Beauty and the Geek, where like all of the other lads, they're so dishevelled, and like there's people hair, and you're like, that's not his hair, I swear. And then you've got like Prince Charming stood in the corner. Like, what's up, girls? It was, but well played. That's why he appears to have a management company, Henry. No, Henry has his own terms and conditions. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Oh, this before I told them this before I even blew up online. I was like, no, I'm standing my ground. If you want me on my show, you're gonna get me, and I look like this. Stick that up your ass.
This is true. Matt, it's nice to have you tuned in, but like,
oh my god, it's Matt Mellish.
It's Matt Mellish.
It's Matt Mellish.
Next week's poll is what's under the beard, what's on Liam's chin. There you go.
By reveal.
So, Henry, so you are notorious for being bang out of date with Disney content, particularly Marvel. Have you been keeping up with The Mandalorian though?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I'm up to date. Of course I'm up to date. No, the thing is, right, with there's a lot of stuff coming out, okay? And now that this is like my job and I speak to a lot of Disney people, I'm kind of forced to be up to date. Otherwise, I'd be lying to Disney, and I'd feel bad if I lied to Disney. So I am up to date with Mando, and I also force myself to be up to date with the Bad Batch.
But
I say forced. Some of these episodes are bangers. Like some of these Bad Batch episodes are these are screamers. But there's a lot of drivel in there that I'm like, I don't know why the hell am I still here?
It's filtering that out. I feel like it's heading in the right direction. But yeah, it's interestingly though. So one of the key topics that we wanted to talk about tonight was specifically the IGN review, where they give like Mando episode 2 of season
like 5 or something.
5 now. So I've got the article. I'm not going to read the article, but since they've done that, they've actually gone back in and they've put like a blurb above it that says the original version of this review contained harsh critiques on the episode's lighting or the lack thereof. While some of IGN staff and other viewers also felt the episode was too dark to observe, the acting and action on a second viewing I was able to significantly improve the experience by turning on the movie mode. Why would you not watch it on movie mode to start with? In my Samsung Q6 QLED television settings. That's a brand deal. In light of this, the text and score have been updated to reflect my opinion of the episode, and it was intended to be seen. As it was intended to be seen, we apologize for the confusion. So I'm just seeing if they've updated. Where's the score? Where did they put the score? Don't know. But forget them. What do you think?
Max, do you want to take this one first?
When did maybe I'm slow here, but when did film reviews and movie reviews become like about the technical side of a like show or movie and not about like the content and the story? Like it's fucking Star Wars. Like, I don't need a lesson about like lighting and sound mixing and whether or not a fucking mine is too dark. It's a mine. It's underground. It's dark. Like,
also, who's watching like Mando like for the first time on the bus with like sunlight blasting off the screen
on your iPad? Like, it's not what I will say about the lighting thing. I was thinking of Game of Thrones when I read that review. It was reminiscent of the long night episode of Game of Thrones. Like, all of the critiques around that episode was that you can't tell what the fuck is going on because it's too dark. Which is correct, you know, it's dark, but they could have like lit it up. And in Game of Thrones, it was important because these characters don't have masks on, and this is like the most emotive episode of all time, and everyone's gonna die, and we need to see everything. In this episode of Mando, you know kind of what Mando looks like. Like Mando's a guy in a mask. He's not really emoting that much. And also, like you were saying, Max, it's a mine. It's meant to be dark. Not once watching that episode did I think, I can't really tell what's going on here. Because it's a mine. And it's supposed to be a little bit spooky. And this little alien doodad bloke, like, this isn't supposed to be a nice kind of like, it's supposed to be a bit creepy and a bit horror-y. And horror-y? Horror-esque, horror type. I don't know. I really enjoyed the episode, and I saw everything. I don't audibly gasp at much. This episode, I was sat on my sofa on my own, and I literally, like, that never happens. I never go.
If I had a bullshit button, I'd be pressing it right now. There is no way that you do not audibly gasp at a lot of things.
Let me
you are an audible gasper.
Let me tell you, I'm one of the most animated people, you know, in this space. People compare me to an Aardman character. I'm that fucking animated. But I cry, I laugh, I like chuckle, but I am not a. If I'm with someone, maybe. But on my own, you know, I'm just wasting my breath if I gasp. But this episode, oh boy, that was awesome. That was very, very, that was cool reveal. Wait, we can say there's a spoiler warning on.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
that mythosaur. Oh boy, that thing looked sick. Like, and also, if we saw the entire thing, if it was well lit and we saw more of the mythosaur, I think it'd ruin it. I don't want to see the whole thing. I just want to see half of its head, and like, because otherwise it just spoils it. It's a mythosaur. Myth is in the name. Just keep that mystery about it. Anyway, someone else talk. I've just rambled for about 5 minutes.
I think the less is more, I think, works. Especially when it's like we're quite early on in the season. You don't want to have that like big bang too early. And I think what you said earlier about the comparison with Game of Thrones is, in Game of Thrones there is literally 50 main characters, 40 side characters that you kind of need to clock when they're doing something. Down in that mine, there was 4 or 5 characters, including the mythosaur. Like,
yeah,
I know who's who. Like, I can. Maybe the only thing you wouldn't be able to see would be comparing Bo-Katan and Mando, because they've both got helmets on. But you need to get your eyes checked if you can't see that, because
absolutely.
And I just think, to your point as well, Henry, like the whole mythosaur part, like what it aimed to do was give us a feeling of like what Bo-Katan was experiencing. Like, we almost saw what she saw. But yeah, it's like, I thought it was brilliant. I loved loads of parts of it. I still love watching like Mando struggle with the Darksaber, then watching Bo-Katan just absolutely dice Morlocks apart. I don't know what they're actually called, but they look like Morlocks. And just absolutely butchered them with like skill. But awesome. Loved it. And I think we're probably about 80% of the way through like the trailer footage now, so there's not really much left to see, which is always a good thing. But because they do this, like they typically do this where they'll, compare to Marvel, who give away the plot in the trailer, like Star Wars have this.
Shazam.
Well, exactly. And
Mental. Have you seen the latest Shazam trailer?
I don't watch trailers, and I saw the clip that I assume you're talking about. I saw it on TikTok, and I'm fuming because I intentionally don't watch trailers to avoid things like that. And I'm furiously
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's the entire anyone. You could tell me the plot of Shazam. Oh, it's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad Mando has been very restrained with its revealing of stuff through the trailers, because I have no idea what the plot of the rest of this season like really is, because he's bathed in the waters now. So it's like, all right, where do we go next? Like, what's next? And it's great because it adds that week to week anticipation.
well, exactly that. Like they do this. You usually get the trailer footage out the way in the first 2 or 3 episodes. My prediction, but it is just a prediction, is that they get the message out there to all of the kind of surviving Mandalorians, but actually to invite them back to Mandalore, and then we get to a point where it's now it starts a Mandalorian civil war because you have like those conflicts, and then you end up with a platonic Romeo and Juliet scenario between Mando and Bo-Katan, like Bo-Katan leading the kind of the more liberal, advanced members of Mandalore, and then on the other side you've got Mando more associated with the Children of the Watch, who are more orthodox and archaic in their style. That's what I think, but who knows? Who knows? It could go any which way. But it's a good time. It's a good time to be a Mando fan.
I think Bo-Katan's story arc in this series, I think, is what I'm looking forward to most, because I've seen loads of different theories. Like, some people think like she's going to be the overarching villain of the season. Some think she's going to have like the redemption arc, that she's going to sacrifice herself, or she's going to be a like +1. Like, there's so many different like ideas, and it's set up. So I know that she kind of saved the day earlier, but like it's set up that all of those could still be possible, and I think that's quite an interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that develops throughout the season.
Yeah, and I think the artistic style and mood that they put across in the trailer, like try to depict her as the antagonist, but like there's naturally going to be that plot, like that scene where Grogu flies in, like that was made to look like she was like a scornful woman, where she was a little bit, but not in the same way. But yeah, I think actually the armorer is going to be the antagonist. I think that's what we're going to have.
I can see
I think
that.
it's going to be like the fundamentalists against the liberalists. Star Wars likes to get political when it can, and I think that's where it's going. You're going to have like the old way versus the new way, and all I ask for, all I want, is a scene with Din Djarin riding a mythosaur and Boba Fett on the back of his Rancor in the same place. That's all I want.
That would be phenomenal.
I just want the Rebels. That's all I want. I want a teaser for the Rebel series. Not the Rebel series. The what do you call it? The Ahsoka series and things like that. I just want to see all these teasers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Live action Sabine will be just the helmet, like just because she's the styling and everything. Look forward to seeing it. But what a time to be alive. Looping back on Bad Batch quickly, but like just general like thoughts on last week. Again, any particular thoughts on it? And we're kind of coming to the end of the series, or we're certainly in that like over the hill and heading towards the end of the series. But any particular thoughts, theories where it's going? Because it's took some twists along the way.
I don't actually know if I finished the last. Is the last episode the one with Crosshair and the other
Yes.
clone? Right, I haven't
Yeah.
finished that episode. I think I might have. The first half's very good, and I like Crosshair. I don't know where the second half goes, but the first half's really good. I've no idea what's going to happen. If I'm honest, I couldn't really tell you. Like, I don't think there's much of an overarching plot in season 2 of Bad Batch.
Ooh, Matt Mellish will come for you now.
Yeah, I noticed Matt. Oh God, no! Matt Mellish is one of my favorites. Matt Mellish was my favorite TikToker when I first started. No, Matt, please don't come for me, man. I love you really.
Cancelled.
Yeah, sorry, OP. Sorry, OP. Sorry, man. But yeah, I liked the Zilla Beast episode. I thought that was very, very cool. As soon as they went on that ship and I saw that little guy, I was like, oh my God, are they? And then when it grew up, I was like, oh my God. There was literally a time when I was sat there on my sofa, like dicking around on my phone. And then I literally, when he grew up into Big Zilla Beast, I literally like went, I put my phone down. Like, it's rare that I do that because I'm always on my phone. I hope we see Echo again, and I hope Echo gets a. I want to see Echo Rex, maybe Gregor and Wolf together, and I want to see where Echo's story ends because I still feel they've left his story is very much open, and I'm kind of sick of him just being there, not doing anything. I want him to have like a 2-episode arc where he can solidly like do something, and that's how Echo went out. Like how they treat Fives. I want Echo to have a Fives ending by the end of this season. That's what I would like to see.
All right, by the end of the season, I do think it needs a good death, and not to be morbid, but it keeps everybody on their toes, and actually it's emotionally engaging. Like I do think it needs it, and it looked like towards the end of series 1 it was either Echo or Tech that were going. But they are starting to work on Tech a little bit, so it's like, are they building him up just to knock him down? But
well, I know a couple of podcasts ago, I think James was saying how, like, I think it was James who saying that like he reckons Tech's going to go because they're giving him a story and they're giving him an arc. It's suddenly like, because they're giving him all this build up, it will have that lasting effect when they do bin him off. I'm not up to date on Bad Batch. I haven't. I started season 2 and realised I wasn't paying attention, so I've canned it, waited for the season to end, and then we'll just watch it properly rather than sitting there on my phone.
I won't give too much away then, given that neither of us seen it. But I think for those of you who have seen it, I think it's going to go the way of like what we saw earlier in the series, those 2 really good episodes where like there was the assassin clone. I think that's where Crosshair is heading. But as Matt Mellish and I talk about this quite often. We like schedule time on a Wednesday and we argue with each other about he bigs up the Bad Batch and then I big up Mando and all that. But yeah, I keep saying to Matt and he agrees, is the Bad Batch one way or another doesn't have a happy ending. So interested to see kind of how it goes. There he's there. He's always
Matt. I remember the first OP or the second OP verse I did. It was your Christmas special, 2021. And I remember I was still a very little creator back then, and it was like you and I think Nathan might have been there. I don't know. I can't remember exactly who was there. Matt was definitely there though, and also the Dom guy. He was there.
Cool guy Dom. Yeah.
Cool guy Dom. And I remember speaking to Matt, and I was thinking, wow. This is the coolest fucking thing. I was like, damn, this is awesome.
It's so funny you say that. Me and Leah went for a beer the other day, and I was saying to him that during that Christmas special, I think I had like 800 followers, and I think I'd been making content for like a month and a half. And I remember the way that we like ping comments here. Like Liam pinned one of my comments, and I remember just fangirling like from behind the screen, being like, Liam, the big Lego like TikToker, just pinned my comment. Amy, get the camera. And he was like, what are you on about?
This is the thing. I was thinking before we. Sorry, this is a bit of a tangent, guys. Wasn't on the agenda. We need to say it anyway. The Opieverse. Liam, I blame this guy, this man. I'm trying to point at him. This guy for bringing like Lego TikTok together for the most part. At least for me, like doing all this podcasty, YouTube interviewing nonsense really brought, I think, a lot of us together.
Easy.
At least from my perspective. It was the first community that I was really a part of, and I feel very blessed that I was introduced to the Lego community, and the Lego community still like Lego Star Warsy, whatever community this is, still like has me. And thank you, Liam, for bringing me here. I blame you and Jamie. You and Jamie really were like my TikTok godfathers. So yeah,
you made it sound like a gay couple that adopted you.
I mean, it's like your brothers by the looks of you both.
Well, yeah, could be, and it touches me that like it's nice to hear that, because it's weird. Like Lego talk seems to be crumbling a little bit, certainly like on TikTok itself, but I think the community still exists. I think we exist in a different place now, which is nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out of Lego talk at the minute. Like I'm trying to
keep pulling you back in.
It does. Like every time I'm like, right, because I'm trying to go like, I don't want to say a similar route to you, Henry, but kind of like the way that you make content on whatever you want. Like it's kind of you with the camera in your environment, just going. And it's like, I don't want to be, I hate that I'm tied down to that niche of Lego. And so I'm trying to do a little bit of a mini rebrand and try and just become more me on the channel rather than Brick Pursuit. Because as Liam said, Lego Talk is a very niche, and I would rather it be a Star Wars, Marvel, Warhammer, Lego, Funko Pop niche rather than a just Lego.
Geek Talk.
Yeah,
Geek Talk.
Yeah.
And I've seen it in your content as well. The videos that you're putting out recently, like your skitty style stuff. Like the little skit. I think they're ace, man. And the good thing as well, like putting more of your personality across in your content. I don't know about you, but I found, because I was very much comic books back not last year before last, like when I first started making videos, I just did comic book recommendations, and then I started to realize, oh Christ, right, so all of the videos that I do about comic books do okay, but then as soon as it's like I put my personality or I just be me, it's like people seem to engage with it more, and also it's like they like me, not just my comic books. So and I don't know, it's more I don't know what the word is, it's more fulfilling, I guess. When that happened, it was lovely. So yeah, all the keep at it because it's great.
Thanks, man.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because again, Max and I having that pint and the other night, and I was seeing, if there's things to learn from Henry, it's absolutely be yourself. But at the same time, like nobody has your energy, Henry. Like so, like, and that is like a big thing for you. Like you're you're like American levels of energy. So like,
oh God,
no, you are.
The horror. I was interviewing Zachary Levi the other day, and he was the most. Sorry, I'm just saying. No, in fact, full stop. There we go. I was just. But oh God, the American energy, dude. Fucking edit. I hope Warner Brothers don't watch this, but like, fuck me, the American energy, like
Warner
uplifting,
Brothers,
happy as Larry.
That's cancel you again.
Max and I will happily step into Henry's place in a second. So,
Shazam 3 interview. Get these two on. Get rid of me.
But no, I just think like your energy is massive in that. But we were seeing like it's that boldish move, and I know I've talked to you about this in the past, but it's that boldish move of like you've never used hashtags. you don't use hashtags, and that from an algorithm perspective doesn't pigeonhole you, but what it means is all the people you've gathered up along the way do follow for you. And now obviously they will have a love of what you collect as well, but like you are at the forefront of that, whereas like for us it's a bit of a different way where we've led with like our niche a little bit, sort of push out. But interestingly, again, Max and I were talking about this the other night, and I was saying, like, if I try and do a Star Wars stuff, it'll do all right if I talk about Star Wars, but I am a Lego Star Wars collector. And my followers predominantly are Lego Star Wars collectors or fans. So you'd think if they're a Lego Star Wars fan, they're a Star Wars fan as well. But but yeah, we kind of went down this rabbit hole. But then I kind of ultimately said, at the same time, you can't figure it out. It's just so weird. But I think ultimately, just you've got to be bold enough. And again, we laughed about this because we've both toyed with it, then bottled it. You've just got to be bold enough to, like, if we want to take that learn from you, is drop the hashtags altogether and just go with it. Like, if you want it to be about you, just go with it and recognize there'll be a dip. But then at some point, if people buy into you,
someone will do a Phil Collins moment will happen, and it'll just be like that. That's it. But Straw Hat Goofy. When I noticed this with Straw Hat doesn't use hashtags, and he is the leading guy in our field, really. And he's also possibly the nicest guy I've met. He is such a sound bloke, and I was like, right. He's not doing it. I'm not going to do it either. What's the point? And I'd lose sleep, or I'd worry about, right, if this video hasn't done well, I haven't used the right hashtags, or I haven't put this word in my caption, and oh god, it's doing me head in. And I was like, why the heck am I losing sleep over a hashtag? Like, so it just got that like out of the water. It just erased that from my mind. So it's a bit of self, I don't know what the word is, like self-assurance that you kind of, you put your all into the video, let the video speak for itself, and you're not worrying about what hashtag, should I be using FYP, should I be using For You page, should I be using IFYP, I've seen some people use, and I'm like, just sack it off, I can't be arsed with it. But the good thing is, the fortunate thing for you guys in particular, and is that you present your content. I don't want to. I love Joe and Andrew so much, but
Betty,
no one
before
knows.
you see it, Betty will clip this.
Betty, I love Joe and Andrew. They're my boys. I love them. But they present content like that. That is it. They present this. Whereas at least with you guys, like Liam, you tell us the news. You are a presenter. Same as you, Max. You have your personality on your videos. Whereas if you got stuck in a this, as soon as it's like whenever Joe does a talkie video, his talkie videos don't do as well as his pointy videos.
I find with the finger pointy videos, like for me, they're really good. Like if I've gone like a few days or a week without posting and a bit of like Lego news comes out, it's a really quick way for me to just kind of like make, like almost just turn the page kind of thing, just keep the channel rolling. It takes me 15 seconds to edit, but like I was saying to Nathan in the past, it's kind of like the one, or even Liam the other day, like the one thing I don't want is for my channel to become full-time finger pointy content, because that's not content. That is just like pixels, and I don't want that. I want my personality to be out there. I want to make content that people engage with, laugh at, like relate to, and so on. And I think just throwing up some catchy music and pointing your fingers works for some, but I just think it would be a little bit soul destroying, especially on a lower level. If you're making good cash on it, then crack on, but at our level, perhaps not.
Yeah, it's.
I hope Joe and Andrew are watching this. If you are, I really, really love you. Just remember that, guys. I love you.
Yeah, it's Betty you want to worry about, because there'll be.
We'll embargo him.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, like, I know in the past, Henry, we've talked about you've looked at like YouTube, and I know you've mentioned it, like doing a bit more on YouTube and trying to expand your repertoire. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's a word for a Monday night. But are you any like further forward with that? Are you? Do you have a plan?
Yeah, I am. Me and I don't know. I keep putting it off. It's a daunting thing. I think because I have like a good following on TikTok. I've got good viewership on TikTok. I don't know. There's a sense of like trepidation. Big word for a Monday. There's a sense of I'm just a little bit apprehensive. But now I realize if I am still doing what I'm doing at the end of the year, like I've had a year of doing TikTok, and it's been a marvelous year. Like this wall is like everything I've done this year. These are all my tickets and pictures and all that. But if I am doing this again, March 13th next year, I'll be happy, but I would have felt like I could have done more. So YouTube, fingers crossed, all things going to plan, will be going live, hopefully, by latest, I want to say, first week of April. I want to do a weekly show, which will be consistent, and I can just film that on a Wednesday and upload it on the Friday, and then
Monday at 8 p.m.
No, never. I need to keep my Monday evenings free in case you guys need a third. Or well, it should be a fourth, but
a second, third, or fourth.
We'll just leave you to it, Henry. We'll have a week off.
Just tap me in if you ever need me. And then, as well as doing a weekly show, I want to be able to do more vloggy style stuff. I love doing my videos where I go to the comic book shop and talk about supporting local comic shop. So I want to be able to do videos where it's like, you know, come with me to the UK's biggest comic shop, and this is my favorite, all that kind of thing. So yeah, YouTube's definitely on the cards, as well as like podcasty stuff, but I'm looking more into podcasty stuff with Theories by T. This is all very preliminary stages, by the way, guys. This is like very, very early stages. And yeah, it's like expanding my content, expanding my online content so that it will service broadcast stuff. Because the end goal with the digital side of things is to end up in broadcast. So presenting, I am hunting down red carpet hosting opportunities like a hound. Press junkets. Now I've done the Shazam one, and that's gone down. Like, honestly, if any of you have watched my Shazam video or liked it or commented, whatever, thank you so much. I really, I was not expecting it to go down as well as it has done. I would have been over the moon if it had got like 10 or 20k views, and for it to be doing the numbers it's doing, I'm over the moon. Also, Rachel Zegler commented on my Instagram post. I don't know if you guys saw.
Did you come up with that segment idea, the kind of the DC character that's made up, or if
I came up with that.
It's genuinely, like, I feel like I bet those junkets they must get so repetitive for these guys that are doing 15 a day. As soon as you posted your video, like, that idea was genius. It like kind of it just released the whole tension between everyone, like, and it became like you could see them instantly, kind of like the shock of like, shit, I'm a DC superhero and I'm about to be knowing who these DC superheroes are. It was such a brilliant idea, so props to you.
It was good fun, because I came up with that I wanted to do it with all of them, but they didn't let me do it with Lucy and Rachel for whatever reason, I don't know. So I did a standard film interview with them, and that I was bricking myself. I was bricking it for that, because not only are they like the two biggest celebrities on on the film. On the film. I mean, it's Lucy Liu, for Christ's sake. I mean, I was sat opposite her, just like in awe. And so yeah, I said to them before we started filming, I was like, "Oh, this is my first time, by the way, guys. Like, you know, hope you enjoy it, whatever." They're like, "Oh, this is your first. Oh, you do great." All that. Anyway, did it. With a constant grin on my face, and then at the end, they did I posted it. They were like, "Oh, you were lovely. You were amazing. You were wonderful." I was like, "Oh my god, what?" And yeah, the standard film interviews must get so tedious because I mean, what you can only ask them maximum 20 different questions about Shazam, like pure, and the questions have to be about Shazam. You can't be like. Because I wanted to ask them, I want to be like, "Oh, so Lucy, you were in Cabaret, and Rachel, you were in West Side Story. I'm a massive theatre kid. I'd love to know what your dream roles are."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, it has to be Shazam related." I'm like, "Shazam? I don't know.
What your dream roles are, and they're just be like, "I would like to be in Shazam 3. And...
I would like to be a daughter of... Yeah, if James Gunn doesn't cancel Shazam 3. Yeah, it was just like, what was it like when you got your costume for the first time? How was it, you know, riding a dragon, Lucy? Like, anyway, but yeah, I'd love to do more press junket stuff. I've just seen someone say I'd be good on CBBC. Nathan, I would love to do CBBC. If anyone from CBBC wants to give me a job alongside Hacker the Dog, I will gladly marry you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so... linking back to the question, Liam, digital stuff is definitely my bedrock. However, broadcast is where I would like to build my house.
Nice. Like for your YouTube, one thing I think it could really do well, like just a part of, I don't know if anybody's doing it, but right now, certainly over the last couple of years, people like you, Joe, you know, Andrew, like that bubble of, and probably T more than anybody, you're kind of like the ordinary person, the non-celebrity as such, that is kind of having these broadcasting jobs, and as you see, you're going in and it's like all new and you're like, "Oh shit, like what am I doing here?" I would imagine you're a YouTube style video where it's just, you know, almost unedited, and it's just like you kind of vlogging yourself through the day. It stops obviously when it has to stop, and then it starts up again, and just seeing like the process, seeing like your mindset, because you're a very vocal person, you think out loud, so then, you know, we get to see and understand what you're thinking, and then kind of afterwards you come out and like naturally you'd be beaming, but then, you know, it's naturally triggered by, we see your TikTok or your reel or your Instagram post, and then like, you know, you've got the full story of what your day was. And like, even, you know, the premieres, again, I'm sure there are parts when they see like, "Nope, you can't film," but like you going there and seeing all that, it would be, and you know,
absolutely. There was talks about us doing last year when we were all very new to it. We were about 3 months in, maybe like July time. I pitched to the group doing a bit of a group channel thing, you know, recording us at events and all that. And that went absolutely... We went to Disneyland Paris as a group last year, and that just soured my taste for anything group related. Right. If I do anything, it'll definitely be on my own. And the thing is with events, marvelous. I'd love to do it at a premiere, but there's part of me which is like, I've got to lug around this camera with me, and I'm most definitely going on the piss after this. So I'm like, I need to find somewhere to store this camera, and I don't know where the hell I'm supposed to.
GoPro's like that big?
Oh yeah, a GoPro would be fine, but I don't have a GoPro. I've got some Sony thing in that bag, which I've only used about twice, and I should probably use more. I think I'll invest in a GoPro for events, and I can just slip it in my blazer pocket, and then way out with the lights,
peeping out the top, and just like get pirated
from the entire thing.
Yeah, or just pointing at your face while you're like doing a full reaction to things. Just
because whenever I've tried to do, you know, like, oh, this is Paul Rudd at the Ant-Man premiere, and I'm like recording him. I'll just end up turning it to my face and going, "Oh, this is really cool." And then it's just like, right, Henry, well, you can't really. Anyway, I should just do YouTube, then I can put it all on there.
You should.
Takeaway.
You should. I mean, even like as I say, you were at MCM last year. You were working there. Are you going to Celebration this year? Any work lined up yet, or? Okay.
Well, regardless, I'll buy a day ticket. I'll probably get a day ticket for the Friday and the Saturday. But if something more comes, I'm emailing quite a few people at the minute.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. MCM would be a brilliant video. MCM last year, honestly, anyone who was at MCM last year, I think can attest that MCM last year was absolutely brilliant. I honestly, I think that might have been the most fun 3 days. Most fun 3 consecutive days I've had in ages. That after party as well, Liam. That was
how you put a shift in on that Sunday. I do not know.
I honestly, mate, that was mental. I was slaughtered, and also you were there when I was with the yeah. That was wild. I felt absolutely horrific on the Sunday, and I was working on the Sunday. I was supposed to be doing work
on Sunday.
I was doing work for Dungeons and Dragons on Sunday, and I rocked up to this panel I was manked. I was utterly gone. I was sitting through this panel with the producer and director of D&D, and all I was thinking was, I need to get out of here. I need something solid to eat and about 4 liters of water. Oh my God, it was a rough day. Very, very rough. Hang on, didn't you have Michael Myers hanging around with you too for one of the days?
We did. It was Harvey's mate. But he on purposely just wandered like 10 feet behind us all day. And then like when we stopped.
Yeah, I know, because yes, when I saw you guys, I was coming up to you like, "Oh, how you doing, lads? Great to see you." Just this big tall bloke just like stood there in silence, staring at me the whole time. I was like, "All right, well,
yeah,
okay."
So surreal, but awesome at the same time. But Celebration would be, it'd be cool. But at the same time, I suppose when you've worked a lot of them, it'd be nice at the same time to just be there and not have to worry about content as well. So,
well, yeah, I mean. Yeah, last year at Celebration, I can't believe I got Celebration last year. That was like one of my first. It was my second ever PR trip, and it was Celebration in Anaheim, and I was only on like 70K at the time, and I felt so much pressure to. They never tell me how much content to make when it's a PR trip. When it's unpaid, that you just go. So D23 and Celebration, I just went, and I was like, I have no idea what to make, how much I should be making, what they want me to say. So I think it would be nice to go to Celebration untethered. But then again, I do really want a media pass so then I can go to all the panels.
True.
Yeah.
I will be locking you in a toilet and stealing that pass for some of those panels.
Because the lottery, is it still a lottery to get a panel?
I think so. I don't think they've said a lot. I think something come out last week about it, but yeah, it's I think it is still a lottery. I don't know a lot about it.
I just want the Celebration exclusive like toys, like the Funko Pops, the badges, the pins, the Lego sets. We don't know what they are. I just want them.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Max, because I believe one of the topics. Sorry, I'm doing your job here, Liam. Funny you should mention that, Max, because
well, last year
one of the topics for today was the Celebration merch.
Well, it was the Kenobi Invader Brickheads last year in Anaheim, but all you got was like a sleeve that went over it. That was the exclusive part. You got it early, and you got
3 months early or something, which is crap.
Let me tell you what I got from Celebration last year, which is Celebration exclusive. I got some Obi-Wan Kenobi themed Frosted Flakes, mint in seal box as well. I wrapped this in about 4 t-shirts so that it didn't break. Also, I was looking; they were handing out because it was the Kenobi premiere. They were like, right, if you want a Kenobi Frosties or a Kenobi Pringles, Dance, guys, come on, dance. I felt like I don't know if I can say this word. I felt like such a. I can say that. I felt quite dirty because I was dancing my absolute arse off for this food. I mean, no one else in my row was doing anything. There were all these middle-aged women in front of me, and I was John Travolta at this, and I won 6 boxes of Frosties. So I was like handing them out to everyone. I was like, I was the man on my row. But if you got the Frosties and the Pringles, I saw one sell on eBay for like 200 quid. 200 quid. For this and some Pringles, I was like, I would have danced all night.
Matt's regretting finishing off the cereal box.
Yeah,
Matt's literally sat there like,
yeah, shit.
Yeah, my mate Henry got hungry in the middle of the night and ate it. I was like, is there something wrong with you? Like, I woke up to this rustling. I was like, you're a wrong'un. You're an utter wrong'un for eating this. This will live on my shelf forever now. Anyway, that's what I got
when
from
the
Celebration.
apocalypse comes, you'll still not eat them. Yeah.
I'll go and grab my journals and my Star Wars Frosties. That's what I'll say. But the rest
do we
of
actually
the
know any of this year's exclusives yet?
They did like a round of pins on Instagram the other day, and like they sold out.
Like to pin.
They sold out very quickly. But other than that, I don't even think they like. I don't know if they were Celebration exclusive or not, but they were expensive. They were like $35 for 3 pins, and they went sharpish.
I saw this the other day because they've released the artwork that we're all getting on our badges, but then apparently, like, I don't know if it's randomized or depending on the type of badge you've got, you get a different character. But I cannot wait for the outcry when the people with, like, basically whoever gets the rare badges, and then people are like, oh my, I can't believe you've given me the real. I can't wait for like the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook posts of just middle-aged men just absolutely livid that they got the real one, and then you're like, oh, whatever, mate. But yeah, it's just crackers. Like, you just the outcry is ready and waiting to happen, and I'm sure they'll do it on purpose just to put it out there. But yeah, but yeah, I'm keen to know what, certainly from a Lego perspective, the only thing from me is I have like serious FOMO. Like I hate missing out, honestly. And as soon as they announce what it is, I'll want it. It could be dog shit. It literally be nothing, but I'll want it, and I'll be like, how do I get it without paying a fortune? And it'll just dominate my thoughts.
Yeah.
Forever will it dominate your destiny.
I think, like, I don't know if it's the same in like the American ones, but I know that there was people saying it is like a lottery system that you get into the lottery and then it's just pure luck that you get in. And I think I don't think it's then super expensive. I think it's retail price, but it's the lottery that is the difficult part to get.
Yeah, but you know that there are going to be people getting them who aren't really bothered about them and trying to sell them like immediately there and then to people who haven't bought them, which will piss me off. But I'll be like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
I'll pay you 300 quid for that 15 quid brickhead that'll actually be released next month. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's something exclusive, like proper exclusive, like decent exclusive, like the Duel on Bespin set, or the Nebulan that we never got here, but never mind. But yeah, Celebration. Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
One day wonder.
It's very soon. It's very soon.
Oh, Henry's gone all
first week of April.
Yeah, literally like 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away.
I think there's 4 full like working weeks, so it's like Easter weekend. So like 4 weeks today will be the last day of Celebration on the Monday. It's going to be a killer weekend because it's like 4 full days. For those of us who are going 4 full days, but
it's going to be expensive. It's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, it is. I don't know about you, Max, but as Henry throws on like a really like sinister eyebrow looking up. Yeah. Henry's what a day, like the technology, beauty of pre-recording some of the time. Conscious of what time are we on? It's we are pushing towards time. I think he's gone. I think he's just going to disappear any time. But Max, you weren't meant to be here, or he's kind of back.
No,
He's
I'm
kind
not.
of back.
Hello.
There
Yeah.
he is.
But has he got a delay? This is the issue.
Unbearable. Wait. Hello.
Henry, finish the count. 1, 2, 3.
Should I go? 4.
This is what we were doing before we went on. Henry, go and come back, because I think you might be the only other person that's seen it. So go and come back. Have you seen it though, Max? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which was this week's or is this week's film club movie to watch?
I have actually. I watched it about 2 months ago. Is he back?
He's back.
Hello?
1, 2, 3.
4.
Yes, he's back. You're a little bit glitchy, but you're all right. Yeah. Just
We'll be
sit
fine.
still.
We'll get through.
Yeah. So chucking it out there, Max, start us off. What do you think about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
It was crap. It was a harmless, easy film, but it wasn't nearly as funny as I wanted it to be. And like, I think if it hadn't been memeified with that Pedro Nicolas Cage meme on TikTok, it would have disappeared into obscurity to never have been watched again by anyone. But because it's been memed, it's now super popular.
Henry, you look like you're about to.
I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I thought it was, so I was thinking it's like, I don't know, maybe honestly I'd probably give it 65%, but there's not a 1/4 star rating on Letterboxd. Like I enjoyed it. Again, harmless, bit of fun. I enjoyed the first 40 minutes more than I did the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like Nicolas Cage just and his family life, struggling actor. Found it quite funny. Struggling actor, he's Nick Cage. Anyway, the situation that he's in, I found that quite interesting. His relationship with daughter, humorous. As soon as, I don't know, the CIA, I just really didn't care about. And it was like it lost me by the second half into all of the kidnapped girl and all that. I just didn't care. The when Nick Cage is at the resort hanging out with Pedro Pascal, and he's making a friend, I liked it. I like that. Wish the movie was just Nick Cage hanging out with Pedro Pascal. I think that would be more funny than all of this big, I don't know, kidnapping, espionage thing. I just didn't care. So yeah, but I don't know, the first half of it I really enjoyed. The second half kind of lost me.
You, Liam?
I fucking loved it.
Really?
Absolutely. So there were parts when I was like just crease. I think it because I accepted it going in. It's a Nick Cage film. So especially it's a Nick Cage film, and it was made in 2021. But I just I went in with an expectation of it being ultimate cheese, and there is always a place for that. And Pedro gave it a level of credibility at the same time, but I just thought it was, there were points the whole acid trip was hilarious. The wall, it was stupid and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
And then they were just it just made me physically laugh out loud. I loved it. But then the other side of it being Nick Cage, The Rock, Gone in 60 Seconds references, Face Off, Con Air, like they were the films I grew up on. Like probably when it got about Ghost Rider was when Nick Cage fell off for me and I kind of stopped watching him. But like those films which have no business being, like they wouldn't work now, they were very typical of that early noughties kind of like just overdone films that like Hollywood had a budget all of a sudden and it kind of just did it with like explosions and stupid stuff. But like, yeah, like Nick Cage in Face Off, although John Travolta is better in it, admittedly, The Switch, but like Nick Cage is unbelievable. And just all of those references and the golden guns and like the pistols and everything.
Yeah.
I get that towards the end it did fall off, but I did like it when he plays the Italian Don and he like Don, like I loved it when he like walks in and he's like in the makeup and the prosthetics, like love that bit. But yeah, I also loved how he basically just takes the piss out of himself. Like he recognizes his kind of brand a little bit. It absolutely has a place. It's not winning kind of any Oscars or anything by any means. I think the one thing I thought, and I don't know if it was led by the guy who, I never remember his name, but I don't think anybody does, but the guy who's like the CIA actor, who's in loads of like Seth Rogen movies.
Oh yeah.
If you swap Nicolas Cage for Seth Rogen and Seth Rogen just played a character like that, it's a Seth Rogen movie. Like it's just stupid, laughable, and you would watch it. I'd never go back and put it on, but if it was on Channel 4 on a Saturday night at 11 o'clock when I go to bed, I'd absolutely just put it on. Now it's probably never going to do that because I don't know if it's an Amazon exclusive, like it's a film they funded and made, but yeah, I loved it, like absolutely. But I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I'm definitely.
Yeah, I don't feel like I wasted my time. Like I definitely enjoyed it. And yeah, that first half I thought was very, very good. Very enjoyable. But I think the next time I have an hour and 43, I'm just going to watch the Muppets again. I think that seems likely.
People who are not going to be watching the Muppets, Henry, is any of us, because looking at the poll, it's actually come last. I'm sorry to see you. We got 20 votes and it got 15% of the votes, which tells me you got three votes.
That's gutting. You three people are awesome.
We won't be watching Shaun of the Dead either. Sadly, we won't be watching Fast and Furious. Maybe people preferred a different. I should have went Too Fast, Too Furious. That one, everybody kind of is the consensus. But Max, we will be watching Everything Everywhere all at once.
Yay!
Where do we watch it?
It's on Prime.
Amazon.
Okay. Is it, I don't want to assume, but do I need to dedicate time to watch it where I can read subtitles, or is it not subtitles?
The first 10 minutes.
Some of it's subtitled.
Okay.
The first 10 minutes and then the occasional bit of dialogue, but it is a film. You have to dedicate 2 hours to it. Don't sit on your film. Don't sit on your phone. Don't sit on TikTok. You need to watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then probably watch it twice.
Oh, I'm only watching it once. If it's like, yeah, we'll see. I agree though, Gary, and thank you for the Fast and Furious puns tonight at the right times. Well, the next time me and Harvey are on, me and Harvey are going to go. Oh, sorry, good one. Liked it.
Thanks.
Or double clutch as well. But next time me and Harvey are on, Harvey will go with one Fast and Furious film and I'll go with the other. Will that be the right thing to do, or will we steal each other's votes? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know who's on next week. But we are shooting towards Celebration very soon. Henry, you very well might be called back if at like last minute, so keep your Mondays at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I will. I won't plan anything on any of my Mondays just in case. If James and Nathan have technical difficulties again, you just give me a holler and I'll hop on straight away.
It's appreciated. We've absolutely appreciated having you here. It's good to hear from you on a personal note as creators. We get that level of insight from someone who's out there doing it. Like, it's always good to get that feedback as well of like what's working for you, and it's always nice to just check in whilst we can get your time, and basically whilst we don't have to go through your management company or your agent and negotiate a fee to get you on.
Never. You've got my number. I'm always here.
I do actually. I do. So yeah, we'll. I'll pester you one day. I'll get you to sign a load of.
Yeah,
shit
next time you go for a
you.
pint, invite me. Invite me to this pint.
I was in London, so.
Oh, and I'm not. Are
you in London?
I basically live in London. No, oh God, no. But I'm up and down the country at the minute like a yo-yo. I'm spending a fortune on trains. I'm always in London. You call me. You call me next time you go for a pint.
Right here. Okay, noted.
I won't, because I don't have your number, but I will call you mentally, and I'll just.
I'll send you it, Max. I'll send you it. Good man.
Yeah.
There you go. Worth touching on. So, Jordan, on the celebration stuff. So, we are planning on doing something, but probably be our first pre-recorded episode. And a couple of weeks ago, we talked about we did the Revenge of the Sith kind of tier rating, overrated, underrated, and then on the back of that, we've said we'll do a Star Wars media tier list as Nerd Juice. So it might well be that we lock ourselves in a hotel room together, saucy stuff, and do our tier list because it feels like the right place to do it. We'll film it on maybe the Thursday or Friday night. And then, well, it won't be the Friday night because we're in the Fox. So I don't know if you're aware, Henry, but after party tickets are on sale. We've snapped them up for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Send me a link.
I'll send you them all. Because they're all over. There's different ones everywhere. But the Star Wars Sessions guys, if you know them, the podcast, awesome. They are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're hosting one somewhere. So Harvey dumped them on us, but didn't tell us that one of them was like 40 quid. So we all thought they were like 5 quid tickets. Then all of a sudden there was like a 40 quid bill, and we're like, but we're going. So I'll share them with you. I'll share them with you all as well, so you know where we're going. But yeah, that's the plan. Celebration, we'll do our tier list and go from there. But yeah, it's I don't know who's picking us up next week. I think probably if we go in full rotation, it's back to Harvey. But people are here, there, and everywhere, and it's whether he can get logged on as well. And if he's not eating pizza. But once again, Henry, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure to chat. And I know we've been talking about what before you disappear to London again permanently or somewhat permanently, get you up to Newcastle and have a nerdy day out.
Good man. Absolutely.
Max, any final comments or final words from you? Thank you for coming to the rescue.
Yeah, good to actually talk to you, Max. I wasn't expecting to see you.
Yeah, for sure. I have genuinely, I've been awake since 3 a.m, so I'm going to bed as soon as we log off. It's been good. It was an impromptu chat, and I couldn't even tell you if we had any segments or if we did the segments, but I don't know what they were. I just feel like we had a good old chat for an hour and a half, so can't complain.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
No, we did. We covered them. And obviously, Nathan was going to go more into the merch stuff, and he had more information on it. But we'll maybe get him to cover that when he's actually working, and get him on. But to you lot in the chat again, week in, week out, you continue to support us. Thank you for being here. Quick shout outs, obviously, Gabby, who is we were all big fans of you, Gabby. Keep doing what you're doing. The master or the mistress. It sounds weird, like the master of something. It sounds like empowering. The mistress of something just sounds a bit kinky. But take whichever way you want, Gabby. But the dominator of sounds on Nerd Talk. That sounds even worse. I'll shut up. Jordan, again, thank you. Mr. Fett, thank you again. Chris, if you don't know everyone, so Star Wars and Beyond did a video quite a while back with a load of TikTok creators. we're getting into Celebration. There could be a part 2 in the works. So if you're not already following, go and check out Star Wars and Beyond on TikTok, because that's going to be worth checking out. And yeah, thank you to everyone. Mr. Mellish, Joff, I saw you were kicking around earlier. Thank you all for keeping us company, having a bit of chat. Go and enjoy your Monday night. Peace, love to all. Wave goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.